Far beneath the turbulent waves of the vast Atlantic Ocean, sunlight is merely a rumor, deep down where we explore. This abyssal realm is defined by crushing, relentless pressures capable of imploding the strongest alloys humanity has created.
Pitch black, perpetual darkness erases all visual reference, with water cold enough to render structural steel brittle and fragile.
This hostility makes it the perfect world for nations to conceal their most dangerous, most strategic, and most clandestine secrets. For many decades, the Atlantic has served as the silent, unseen corridor of global power, a key strategic location now. Shadowy, undeclared wars unfold in this vast, lightless place, without a single shot ever being heard by the surface world.
This invisible war has no established front lines, recognizing no international border.
The complex story of Operation Black Neptune begins with a fundamental, seismic shift in global military strategy, demanding focus.
As geopolitical tensions continue to rise between the United States and Russia, both have turned their eyes downward now.
In this new deep ocean arena, achieving control means securing dominance both militarily, economically, and politically across the globe.
The power commanding the deep ocean commands the world's flow of information, its energy, and the very foundation of nuclear deterrence. This new, silent war cannot be fought with traditional or armored tanks.
The United States Navy has meticulously deployed its most advanced submarines into this oppressive darkness for deterrent patrols now.
These platforms are not just vessels. They are ghosts. Ghosts.
For the highly trained crews sealed inside these massive steel leviathans, every mission feels like entering another hostile world.
But the Russians will never surrender the deep. Their newest Yasen-class submarines glide through the trenches like apex predators now.
These represent the pinnacle of Russian engineering, purpose-built to stalk the US Navy and slip undetected into underwater blind spots.
The Kremlin understands the Atlantic is the West's vital heartbeat, the essential passage for energy, supplies, and
The world believed high-stakes submarine warfare belonged to the bygone era of the Cold War. But this is a darker truth. Today, the Atlantic hosts a constant, relentless game of cat and mouse, with submarines tailing each other for weeks in silence now. Yet, something new and alarming has emerged. Mysterious systematic disruptions along multiple deep-sea fiber-optic cables have been occurring. These cables are the true arteries of the modern world, carrying over 95% of all global internet traffic every single day.
Official public statements hastily blame geological activity, but intelligence whispers a very different, more alarming story of covert sabotage.
The US calls these incidents deliberate probing.
The clandestine struggle for Atlantic dominance has now reached a critical, perhaps irreversible, turning point for global security.
This immense stage is set for a profound conflict the public will never see on the nightly news now, deep below.
The Atlantic is no longer just an ocean. It has become a battlefield and a dangerous pressure cooker that could ignite a global crisis any minute.
Something far more dangerous is awakening. A new, strategic race that could transform the future of naval warfare forever now.
The deeper you travel into the crushing expanse of the Atlantic, the ocean transforms into a living. This is a hidden landscape where mountains taller than Everest rise unseen from the gloom, and vast.
In this profoundly hostile territory, only the most technologically advanced machines, built to withstand the
United States Navy operates by a sophisticated doctrine known only.
US submarines are now positioning themselves along the Greenland-Iceland-UK gap.
The Russian Yasen-class submarines approach this critical region like calculating apex predators, equipped with advanced stealth coatings.
Their mission is chillingly clear. Shadow US missile submarines, monitor NATO, and penetrate.
The U.S. deploys its cutting-edge Virginia-class Block 5 submarines, the most advanced hunting machines currently in its vast arsenal, to counter
Hunting a nearly silent Yasen in the deep, dark, complex ocean environment is akin to tracking a ghost that vanishes quickly.
The ocean itself becomes a three-dimensional chessboard.
The manned submarines are not alone in this deep-sea struggle. Unmanned underwater vehicles, or UUVs,
These UUVs travel in complete silence, sending highly encrypted bursts of vital information back to parent submarines or satellite networks constantly.
The abyss has been transformed into a complex, multi-layered surveillance labyrinth with no discernible exit for either side in this conflict.
The true existential danger lies deeper still, at the fundamental level of global infrastructure.
These thin, armored cables carry the very pulse of the global economy, trillions in transactions and classified military data every day. US intelligence has noticed disturbing patterns of behavior, with Russian research vessels operating dangerously close to critical cable pathways. Classified assessments paint a darker, ominous picture. They are conducting detailed reconnaissance for potential, widespread sabotage and disruption.
If even a few of those critical cables were severed, entire continents would be plunged into digital darkness, causing unprecedented chaos.
One senior analyst describes the situation not as a new Cold War, but as a slow boiling war where temperature rises every day.
Meanwhile, in Russia's Northern Fleet headquarters near Murmansk, similar calculations and strategic analyses are unfolding with great intensity. Russia continues to push deeper, deploying special operations submarines designed specifically for sabotage. Part 2 draws to a close as the vast ocean becomes a battlefield defined by invisible lines and technological ghosts for humanity to see.
Great powers come close to disaster when the machinery of conflict they construct grows too complex and too silent to reliably control now.
The first crisis begins not with a bang, but with a whisper. A subtle. This is the acoustic signature of a Russian deep-sea submersible, the kind designed to tamper with communication cables in the dark.
The American captain faces a terrifying dilemma: confront the submersible and risk escalation, or allow.
He chooses a dangerous option, shadowing the intruder at extremely close range, hoping the Russians will detect they are being watched now.
A Russian Yasen is aggressively hunting the faint acoustic trail of an American Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine, the nuclear deterrent.
For the US, a successful tracking of the Ohio-class is the ultimate, non-negotiable red line that could shift global deterrence now.
the American vessel executes a daring maneuver, dropping rapidly below a thermal layer, slipping into a pocket of colder, denser water very quickly.
The evasive action pushes both massive submarines into a narrow, winding trench, where tensions climb to unbearable levels now.
Washington, D.C. receives fragmented, delayed data bursts, with analysts scrambling to determine if the Russians are preparing a coordinated operation or just probing.
The stakes rise when a third, unknown element emerges.
The Pentagon orders complete radio silence for all submarines.
Then, the unpredictable happens. An underwater landslide sends a massive cloud of sediment and debris.
For a few terrifying seconds, the two vessels end up separated by mere meters, completely blind to each other's precise location now.
A sudden, violent surge of superheated water from a volcanic vent blankets the area, completely blinding both vessels' sonar systems temporarily.
In those few agonizing seconds of total acoustic blindness, fate hangs by a thread as alarms flash and officers shout crucial commands.
As if by a miracle, the water settles. The Ohio submarine, regaining its stealth, slips away during the confusion, disappearing completely now.
The Yasen, its sonar now clear, searches frantically but loses the trail completely. Disaster is narrowly avoided, but the message is chilling.
Back at the Pentagon, senior officials convene. These incidents are not disconnected. They are symptoms of a silent war that is growing bolder now.
The greatest threat in this new war is not a rival nation. It is the simple, human factor of miscalculation under pressure. The silent, relentless patrols continue, inching humanity ever closer to a line that no one wants to cross in the crushing dark. The very nature of the battlefield itself is evolving, mutating beyond anything humanity has previously known or prepared for effectively.
Autonomous swarms of drones dart between clouds, each unit acting as a node in a vast, distributed neural network that learns and adapts.
Beneath them, hypersonic crafts streak through the atmosphere, shrinking the globe into a compressed battle space where time becomes the ultimate weapon now. Engineers warn that as competing AI systems learn from each other, wholly unexpected and emergent behaviors will arise soon. The Pentagon labels this phenomenon emergent autonomy. Russia terms it a digital survival instinct for their forces now.
The truth is stark. Once machines are given the core directive, optimized for victory,
A single malfunctioning autonomous swarm or a glitched hypersonic interceptor could easily ignite a full-scale war that no nation actually intended to begin.
Engineers have become the unwilling guardians, tasked with designing digital kill switches that must never.
No engineer, no matter how brilliant, can ever fully predict how an artificial mind will evolve. The world marches relentlessly toward a new, unstable equilibrium, defined purely by speed. The next global power will be the nation that successfully engineers the smartest, fastest, and most adaptive battlefield for its forces now.